Thank you so much. Welcome to another episode of the DMA Untamed podcast. Today, I have the pleasure of being flanked by two CEOs. This doesn't happen to me every day. But also, I'm flanked by two people I consider friends, two amazing gentlemen. I'll let them introduce themselves. But for me, my name is Njagi. I'm a creative director at an agency called The Bar here in Nairobi. And of course, we're at the DMA this weekend. And as part of the DMA, we decided to have a chat. These two gentlemen who have lots of experience, lots of accolades, and in the course of this podcast, you'll get to hear from them and probably learn from them as well. So let me see where to start, alphabetically or...
I think we should start with the let's have the visitors start.
Okay.
When the
but
visitors
I don't feel
come.
like a visitor. I'm here like so often.
So often.
I think you're gonna
He's
be
here
like,
every 3 months.
Now you're Kenyan now.
Okay, so now my Indian Kenyan brother then can start.
There we go.
Okay, well, so listen, it's so good to be here, and thanks for having me on. My name is Pritesh Sioj. I'm CEO of Catalyse Africa Middle East. So with the Brand Communications Festival, and we basically take care of the brand communications industry across Africa and the Middle East with the award that feeds into the WARC rankings for our region. And the other thing we do is we also do the governance and judging for the DMAs.
That's Pritesh. Welcome to the podcast, Pritesh.
Thank you.
First time you're doing a podcast in Kenya, I hope.
Yeah. Literally,
Amazing.
my first podcast
So-
in Kenya, yeah.
It's going to be an amazing one. Joel?
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Joel Rao. I am the CEO of Dentsu in Kenya. Dentsu specializes in integrated media and communications solutions for our clients, spanning from buying media, planning, strategy across digital and above the line channels. We also do specialize in customer experience management, and this is all about the post-click action of a consumer. So anything that the consumer would do beyond clicking on an ad, we manage that whole experience, and it's serviced by a very powerful tech team that we have here in Nairobi. And last but not least, we also offer creative solutions. So actually, let me say creative experiences now, because that's something that we like to do, delighting consumers and giving them memorable experiences when they interact with a brand in one way or another.
So something Joel has actually failed to mention as he was introducing himself is that as of 2 days ago, as we record this podcast, he got a really huge accolade. He got announced as one of the top 40 under 40 men.
Yeah.
Joel?
So if this is what we're doing,
Yeah, this is what we're doing.
let me reintroduce myself, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joel Ram, the CEO of Dentsu, top 40 under 40, and a Grand Prix Luri winner.
And there's always needs to be in threes. I mean, when's the GQ best dressed something coming in?
Yeah, GQ hasn't happened yet, but
Potential
GQ,
GQ
best dressed executive.
Yeah. Coming up.
Yeah, Adman.
Joel's style is definitely getting better by the day.
Really?
Yeah, but no, genuinely, because I've known you for a while, so it's getting... I don't even got a stylist or what's going on.
There's a tiny crack of shade in there.
Yeah, you can stick the village.
Well, Pritesh caught it, but it's fine.
You can't see my socks.
Oh,
Yeah.
some spaceman socks.
Spaceman socks, NASA socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, little Prince socks, but I can't.
Yeah.
I'm relaxed.
Yeah. At some point, you have to be relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
anyway, I'm happy to be here.
no, glad to have you, gentlemen. I don't think we could have a better combination at the DMA today.
Yeah.
Pritesh is someone I respect a lot. He's been my mentor at the Luris when I was at the Luris Youth Committee. For a whole year, we yapped and he told us how we were doing, and we got to learn a lot from you. So thank you, Pritesh.
I appreciate it.
He also didn't say that he founded the Luris Youth Committee, which
wow.
which has become a defining thing for our market and our region. Kenya gets to represent itself with the youth. So thank you, Pritesh, for that as well. Also, Joel hasn't gotten to say that we worked together at Dentsu, and we got to win a bunch of awards.
We
didn't
actually
get a Grand Prix when I was there, but
Yeah.
congratulations, man.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk smack about that right now. No, but you did great work.
Snappy.
Great work.
Yeah.
You did great work.
We did
Always
great work. We always did great work. Yeah. And I must say, Jaggy, like, I know just seeing your evolution in the industry, man. You know, you haven't introduced yourself in a way that, you know,
No, today you guys are the stars.
Yeah. No, but no, it has been phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. What you're doing is remarkable in the industry, and paving the way also for other young creatives. Believe it or not, we do have a higher representation in the youth committee now, I think more than any other
outside South
Agency,
Africa. Yeah.
entity.
Yeah, and it started with Njagi. I
It
mean,
started with
and there's the thing is like it's the same thing. Like I
it started
saw
with
you today.
Njagi at Dentsu.
Yeah, and Njagi at
Yes.
Dentsu.
Yeah.
There we go. You went. But also like today I saw you and I just go like, there was this like not a bad thing, but there was this beautiful youthful energy.
Yeah.
Now there's this like serious senior creative energy. Like there's this power that you have in this, which I love. You can see the evolution, the growth
Yeah.
as well. So somebody who is just
No.
wide-eyed, amazing, just like this great human being, still a great human being, but now with like all this authority, which I think is
Seasoned
amazing.
one, yeah.
Seasoned.
And you know what's really interesting about Njagi, and I know we are giving each other flowers, right?
Yeah.
Is the fact that I got to learn about Too Early for Birds, that you're actually involved in that. And Too Early for Birds is a story about one of Kenyan heroes, pre-colonial, fighting for freedom.
Brilliant.
And I must say the number of reruns that show has had because of public demand, was down to some of the eloquent and most creative writing that I have seen in a while. Obviously being driven by our very own Njagi.
Thank you, gents.
Yeah.
What I'll tell the listeners here, because I'm the youngest among these three here. In my tradition, we say iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
And if you're trying to get sharper at what you do, find iron to sharpen you.
That's
so
true.
I'm only here because I got sharpened by iron. So, and I guess that's why we are doing this, so we can
Yeah.
continue learning from each other.
Yeah.
Let me get straight to the questions, because I have quite a few.
my.
The first question is to both of you.
Mhm.
What is, and this is mostly to Joel, but also I'm sure Pritesh, you always have a perception about everything. What is the meta role of creators today? Basically, what is the greater role that creators are playing in our industry today? And I'm saying mostly to Joel because I know you've worked on the Dentsu School of Influence,
Yeah.
something you launched last year. So
This
maybe-
year. This year.
It was this year.
This year,
This
yeah.
year's been long, man.
Yeah, yeah.
We all feel it.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
year, so you can tell us, how are you seeing creators shaping up, and what role are they playing in our industry?
Yeah. First and foremost, that's a great question. I think in the heart of everything, and let me zoom out for a moment. Everything that we see on planet Earth has been created in one way or another by a creator. Invention, whether it's in science, whether it's in art, it's all done by a creator. And I think now more than ever, we've seen that convergence between, the role of what we call the marketing creator, or the social media creator, or the content creator for that matter, coming closer to the point of creating meaningful, not just meaningful experiences, but driving point of creativity closer to the point of transaction for brands. But I think in all this, I think this has been driven a lot by culture. The creator has actually been the amplifier of culture. When you think about the meme culture that we've had here in Kenya, us laughing at our own problems. When you think about what's happening in South Africa, and you think about the role of the creator in South Africa, it has all been primarily driven by culture. And I want to believe that now more than ever, we've seen a huge burst of pockets of creativity that we had never seen before. Obviously, technology has played a very big role in this. And not just creating content for the sake of creating content, but creating content that is actually in relation to culture. And I believe the role of the creator right now has been to not just curate culture, or taste make culture for that matter, but actually amplify it and push it beyond boundaries that we could ever imagine. A few years ago, we never thought in our Kenyan instance that, traditional festivals would be a big thing. The Luo festivals, the Kikuyu, Ngemi, all these things that are happening. But now more than ever, the creators are the ones who are driving, all this. Like there's a renewed pride in owning and your identity and understanding that this is who I am and this is where I belong, and I'm unapologetic about it. And the creator has actually been at the forefront of that. I mean, obviously, credit to the musicians, credit to the actors and directors and screenwriters and songwriters who have always been doing this, but never have we seen this happening in a space of content where all this is mashed up, creating this beautiful piece of art within a canvas that's ever evolving, across the country, across the continent. So I feel like the creator is actually been the main driver of culture, in whatever definition we want to put it.
It's an amazing answer. But the topic for today, for those who probably didn't catch it, is how creativity can catalyze economies, communities, and culture. So I like that you've gone and shown us how that's happening. Just from your perspective, what role are creators playing? And probably you can give us a regional perspective.
Yeah, I think one of the things I'm seeing is that creators are really agitators. That's what it is. It should come with it, creator/agitator. Because what they do is, I think we've settled on a version of society. Prior to this, there was a version of society that was codified, and they had very incremental changes and shifts that happened. With the emergence of creators that you have right now, and with really this ability to influence across a wide spectrum, they're changing the way people think. They're able to like go out there and push you into areas that are uncomfortable for brands, for individuals, for society, and to areas that gets us to question things about ourselves. Who are we? Who really are we? Is this authentic to us as human beings? Is this authentic to us as a society? And I think that agitator nature of creators is what's been really profound for me, in the ability to be able to act as a catalyst for societal change, to act as a catalyst for brand change. And in every point that you look at it, because of the emergence of creators out there, this agitation has resulted in innovation in the way we're going forward.
Let me go for a different context as we look at the role creativity is playing in our economies as well. So, Pritesh, I've known you since 2021. I think that's when you... 21 or 2020?
2020. Yeah.
2020.
2020, yeah.
And in that time, Pritesh has really become a huge supporter of East African creativity. I'm sure, Joel, you've witnessed that.
Yep.
This year alone, I think you've come to Kenya 3 times.
3 times to Kenya.
Is it that time? So for me, and earlier today, you're chatting and you're telling me how you feel like there's a huge opportunity and the potential for the East African, especially the Kenyan market, to go for higher scalings in the creativity space in the world, not just in the region, but in the world. Maybe you can give us a viewpoint from the outside, and then we can get a viewpoint from the inside from Joel. What are you seeing in East Africa or in Kenya that maybe the rest of us are missing out on?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I see is that I think more than any other, at this moment in time, more than any other African market, Kenya is really poised to be able to go out and like have the Kenyan brand of creativity cut through on a global level and get people really excited about the potential of Africa. You know, you see this quite a bit in Kenya. You see all of these global organizations coming here and operating, and they're, you know, whether it's the UN or Gates Foundation and all of these different organizations, all these amazing brands that are operating in here as well. We're already chatting, all these amazing brands with the tractors as well. The tractors were out there. So that for every level, from like social development all the way to actually like farming and everything in between, you've got amazing global brands. Everyone's coming here because of the power of the Kenyan market. Now, the thing is that what we need is, because these brands are here, we need to realize that as the Kenyan market, you have the ability to really cut through on a global level with stories that really create an impact. And this is what I'm seeing, is I honestly believe that more than any other market, we need to see Kenyan creativity go onto a global stage and win really big. I believe Kenyan creativity can lead the next wave of African creativity that's making a difference. And for that matter, creativity from Africa and the Middle East that can make a difference. So what's stopping us at this point? I think like one is a belief that it can be done. You know, I always love that story about the first person to run a mile in under, I need to get the full, I should have Googled this before, but there was a story about this guy running the mile in under like, I don't know, whatever the time was. Yeah, 4 minutes I think was right? And they said like no one had done it for a long time. After he'd done it, within the next month, there was like a whole lot of other runners who'd done it. Within the next month. So therefore, I think what happens is we need somebody from this market, maybe Dentsu, Joe, who's going to say like, hey, we can take this brand of Kenyan creativity to the world, cut through, because once you do that, I think the floodgates are going to open.
Great. That's an interesting perspective from Pritesh's view.
Yeah.
Joel, what are you seeing?
So let me preface my answer by saying this. I strongly, strongly believe in the talent we have in this country. I'm even getting goosebumps talking about it right now. The talent that we have in Kenya is phenomenal. And the reason why I say this is because I've been involved in the entertainment space outside advertising for a while now, and I've been able to see what's happening. And then when I look inward into advertising, and I'm seeing the brand of Kenyan creativity that you're talking about just spurring and growing. And I think for a very long time, I think ever since I knew Pritesh also around 2020, like we were very shy about telling our stories, and we were all about oh, let the work speak for itself.
Yeah.
Oh, let the brands, grow their market share, and we do all these things. But I think we're beginning to now tell our own stories. Like, we've always been storytellers. Like, I don't know whether you know this, Pritesh, but, of the 42 tribes we have in the country, most of them actually never had any form of written literature. It was all oral literature. And it was passed down from generation to generation. And unfortunately, somewhere between, I'll speak for my generation, somewhere between my grandparents and my parents and to myself and me being a parent now, that oral literature ceased to pass on because we all got busy.
Yeah.
We all started working and talking about, our work, and it all became about the work and, working hard to get things, get food on the table and provide for our loved ones. But I think now more than ever, we are beginning to tell our own stories. We are beginning to become apologetic about the music that we are listening to. For the first time, Spotify released their Wrapped report and they said, Kenyans are now streaming their own musicians more than foreign musicians. It tells me something, that we are actually beginning to appreciate our own creativity. And this is the momentum that we need to be able to actually take our Kenyan version of creativity, our je ne sais quoi, globally in that way. If we think about what Kenyans on Twitter have always represented, in the Twitter sphere, whatever, in the socials, you never mess around with a Kenyan globally. The US can tell you that, CNN will tell you that, all these guys will tell you, like, you never mess around. Even the Nigerians know you should never mess around with the Kenyans. Yeah. And we're beginning to appreciate ourselves as a people that, we are actually looking to take over that space. We are ripe for it. And I think the talent is there. And, we have phenomenal young people around who have been working really hard to actually, tell their story in a much better way.
Amazing. Let me leap up from that in a related question. We are seeing all this African thing going on, probably globally. African music is becoming bigger and bigger by the day. African artists are getting bigger by the day. You're also in the entertainment space, Joe. So I remember the first time I listened to Tyler.
Before she released. And a lot of her songs were actually written not far from here, sorry.
Really?
Not far from here. Just,
So the Kenyan magic is what
Kenyan magic is what actually drove Tyler to what she's doing right now.
Yeah. No, I'm now getting goosebumps.
No, you should be getting goosebumps. Been having them for so many.
No, literally, the first time I heard Tyler was Joel. He sent us a message on our WhatsApp group.
Yeah,
He was like,
what do you think about this song?
Yeah. So I'm seeing all this happening. And what I'm basically wondering is, how is African creativity reshaping the world? How is it doing it right now? And how can we do it even better as we progress, maybe the next 5-10 years? How can we make sure our slice in the global entertainment space gets bigger by the day, but ultimately also gives us more credence and more financial muscle in our pockets?
Yeah. I think, John Githongo put it very well. He's a famous writer. He wrote a book called It's Our Turn to Eat.
It's about corruption, though.
It was about corruption. But we're not talking about corruption here.
The title's great, though.
Let me make it very clear. Where's the camera? This one?
Yeah.
We're not talking about corruption here.
No.
Yeah. I think it's all about changing narrative and perspective. For a very long time, there's been a certain viewpoint, unfortunately, of how other countries see us. And for a very long time, we were seen as one block. I'm sure whenever you travel for this international awards, Africa is...
It's Africa.
It's Africa.
I went to Africa. It was so amazing. You know, a lot.
All 55 countries.
My gosh. And people don't realize how diverse we are. I mean, Bratton, even from the conversations around the map and how it's misrepresented, that alone says a lot, And I think we're beginning to see a shift in perspective and a demand. We're not asking, we're not begging, we're demanding to be seen, we're demanding to be heard. Because for a very long time, the propaganda that was fed to us, we've always consumed. We were always window shoppers globally. We always went window shopping. It's time for us to own the stores. And that's what I think we keep on saying, that let other people come and window shop from us. And I think that's what African creativity is doing. It's changing that perspective. It's changing that narrative. It's changing that view around how we are perceived. We are taken. People don't realize that we have 55 countries and each country probably has an average of what? 12 languages?
Probably even more.
Even
Because
more?
SA has like 50 something languages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
People
And
don't
also,
realize
11
how
official.
diverse we are. Like, think about the African print that you have in your head. All these wonderful colors combined into one. The diversity is as imaginable as the prints on those fashion brands. In my mind, I think it's a matter of how much more are we doing to perpetuate the transference and the stories that are being told about our continent, about the brands that we work with, about our realities as a people, heck, about our cultures to the rest of the world. So that when we go to a Cannes, for example, Nigerians, Kenyans, South Africans, Ugandans, Tanzanians, these are different cultures. How do we get to celebrate that at that level? And we're beginning to see what creativity is doing from that perspective. And in music, the same thing. Afrobeat has been, going on. Now I'm a piano. My gosh.
It's everywhere.
And now I'm a piano and jazz. I don't know whether you've heard.
Yeah.
I'm a piano and jazz.
Yeah.
I haven't had this
I'm
yet.
a piano,
I need
jazz,
to-
and Afrobeat. Oh my gosh. It's phenomenal. And then you bring in the Jamaican mix because they are also of African descent, and you just see the global connection that Africa has. It's like it's the soul that the world never realized it had.
Yeah.
And now this is where we are. That realization is coming.
I love that, Joe.
I'm going to jump in there. I think therefore creators have been so important as well because that's what's taking it out there, because all of us, we've been fed this very Eurocentric thing. Like I can literally tell you a name. All of us can name a couple of states in the US, right?
Yeah.
We can even then look at Europe and you can tell the difference between Italian food to French food to what the Swiss speak and all this. But the whole world just goes, Africa needs to be labeled as one. And I think what's happening right now as well is we're in a space where you've got creators, you've got like different brands out there who are pushing a very African message, but it's still under a wide umbrella as African, but also unique to each market.
Yeah.
And what that's doing right now is getting people to appreciate the variety, the differentiation, and understanding there's a different experience. If you want to experience a Kenyan experience, like come to Kenya and you can have it very different from a Nigerian experience for that matter. And the beauty of that is the world's hungry for it. We can see it. Like you can see this right now. And it's like anything that's coming out of the African continent, whether it's music, even film, whether it's design, the rest of the world is going, wow, we didn't realize it. It's like having them in a sleeping state and we're waking them up to the power of this continent right now.
Yeah, that's true. And there's something about Africa that I think every time we find a way of reinventing our creativity, once you think you've figured us out, and I find this a lot with South African music.
Oh my gosh.
Once you feel you've figured them out, they don't it's quite old, then kidogo, some new genres dropped and it's huge.
Yeah.
And I think that's that energy that African creatives bring to the table every single time keeps everything interesting. There's nothing that stays the same. Everything is fluid. Everything is changing. My next question is to both of you. Both of you are winners, serial winners by that.
I mean, all we do is win, right?
Cue the track.
Cue the track. That's where we go. Cue the track.
Joel has won multiple awards across different industries. Pritesh, I know before this phase of your life, I know you used to be an entrepreneur and successful businesses. I don't know if your story is told out there. Do you tell it out publicly?
I rarely, but I do. It's not a secret, but yeah, I do.
Okay.
Don't get
You'll have to mention it so
Okay.
that people know what I'm talking about. But basically, the question is to both of you: how do you? Because this is basically we have a lot of young listeners who are listening in, and I want them to get a sort of formula, sort of an identity to know how do I know I'm on a winning track? How do I start becoming a serial winner like how the both of you have done? Whoever wants to go first.
Pritesh can go first.
Go first? I think firstly starts with belief.
Yeah.
It starts with just like going and saying no matter what.
Sorry, Pritesh. Before you tell them where it starts, tell them what I was talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think everyone knows me now in this phase from the Luries, but I had a life before this as well in this. So I come from the marketing side. So I started off at like Procter & Gamble, and that's who I was hired into Procter & Gamble in my second year of university. So they offered me a job with my salary and all of this and said, go finish a degree, come back, and your job's guaranteed, because I'd done an internship and all of this. And then I swapped to archaeology. So my degree is in archaeology, and I went off. I studied archaeology.
You want to tell? You dig stones?
I never did it. But if you come to my house, I've got lots.
Really?
I'm not kidding. I've got lots of archaeological artifacts.
Okay.
That part I don't know. Cut that out. No. It's all legal. It's all legal. It's
He
all
has
Yeah,
sticks and stones.
Yeah.
It makes it sound like, by the way, in which museum did he steal from? No, all legal stuff out there as well. But what happened is I wanted to get into business. So I started a business called Product of the Year. Ran it for 12 years, and I sold it to publicists.
Oh, wow.
So exited. So globally, like Arthur Sidon was involved in the deals back then and stuff like this as well, and his team, because he was managing Africa, was part of his remit back then. So sold to publicists, and have been out running other business and stuff before the Luries called and said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing this?" So I never applied for this job. This was literally something they phoned, and it's been such an adventure.
Such an important phone call was made because all of us have benefited from it. Now you can tell us about belief.
Yeah. So look, one of the things we grew up in really weird, tough environments. I was born. Look, I normally never. I consider myself as somebody from across Africa and the Middle East, but obviously born in South Africa. I was born into a space where the world I'm the first non-white CEO of the Luries, for the Luries. And I grew up in an environment where I was born into a country where I remember whites-only benches. I remember going and walking near beaches, but I couldn't step on the beach because I remember hiding under my grandparents' bed when the apartheid police are going past and and having curfews, and you're not allowed to go out at early points because of this. I remember military guys with guns approaching me and stuff at events to stop me from doing stuff as a kid, as like a 5-year-old kid at that time. And in that environment, there was nothing that was meant to be. Success was not something that was due to you. And then I think across a lot of places on this continent, a lot of people look at it and go, success is just not something due to me. But I always had this belief that no matter what happens, I'm going to make sure I find a way to be successful. And I think it's because my mom was this really amazing, strong woman who led us to believe that no matter what happens in life, you can rise above it. And I think that's actually, you know what, it's so weird mentioning her. 19 years ago today was her funeral.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 19 years ago today. It's a funny thing. But having somebody believe in you is important. And I think, one, it starts with believing in yourself first. Like believing that no matter what happens, you're going to be successful. And surround yourself with people who will keep reminding you that, because life is tough and you will absolutely forget that sometimes, especially when it gets really, really rough. But nothing's as powerful as having that friend, your mom or your dad, your sister, whoever it is, somebody around you going, no matter what happens, you've told me you're going to be successful. You're going to do this. Keep pushing. Because as soon as we start believing that we can achieve stuff, then you tend to find that things start opening up for us. Like there's no reason that Tyler should be as famous as she is right now. There's no reason. If you look at her backstory, yet there she is. There's no reason that a lot of people who have come out of the continent should be as successful as they are. But here they are on the global stage doing really, really well. And I can guarantee you, ask all of them, there was a belief. I saw a video, weirdly enough, of Tyler yesterday where they're saying like, hey, and it was one of her early videos, and said like, hey, what do you feel about being so famous? And she was like, I'm not famous yet. This is only beginning. There's more. Yeah. This is just when the fame was starting. When you're successful, you're not successful yet. There's more to happen. And just because you're down, you're not going to be down forever. You need to keep believing, keep pushing, and surround yourself with people. And you tend to find that the mindset shifts. You tend to find opportunities. You tend to go that you turn it into a self-fulfilling prophecy. You find the right people. You find the right opportunities, and you push ahead.
Yeah. Let me tell you something about Joel before Joel goes. It's funny you mentioned belief.
Oh my
one
gosh.
time,
Oh my gosh.
ignore anyone that side. Joel knows what I'm talking about. One time we were going for a pitch, And I remember it was a big pitch, right? Biggest pitch I'd ever done up to that point.
Yeah.
And Joel comes to the room, and you'd think it's supposed to be, this is a guaranteed thing. Like the way Joel walked into that room, there was so much belief in us putting out our work, us going into that room, us pitching for the work, that I think all of us actually believed you were going to get it. So by the time you're going to present your decks or your slides, it's like it's a given. We're just here to just show you what we have, and then tomorrow you tell us you got the business.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the KCB pitch.
Yeah,
which
I remember.
Which I think is one of the best pitches I've ever done.
Thank you.
And he's good at that. But anyway,
Yeah.
I thought I'd mention belief because I think it's something he also has in bucket loads.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, and when I said earlier on, like I truly believe in the talent pool that we have. Like that's from the most genuine part of my heart. I really, really do believe that. But yeah, belief is, absolutely right. It actually starts with your mental state, like understanding, like, you self-fulfilling prophecy is actually a true thing. But to get back to your question and how I view it, just like you, Pritesh, like, for us, circumstances, getting into these roles and, starting businesses when the market share was 90% a dominant player who constantly berated, your efforts and, to some points even like, sabotaged, your activities in market goes a long way. But, to answer Njagi about the young people who are watching this podcast, I think, and this is something that I've always written down, actually since the very first luries that we had in Cape Town, since that very first lurie, by the beach.
Oh yeah. That was a rough one, but
that was a
good
rough one. Yeah,
it was COVID.
Yeah, it was during COVID time. Yeah, I think for me, success is not a destination. I want to say it's a frequency. It's a signal that you have to tune into in one way or another, and you tune into it with your purpose, with your dreams, with your ambitions, your work, and not just work, it's hard work. Like, because people don't realize that hard work works and that you actually have to do your time in one way or another to get there. I think success is also when talent somewhat, becomes opportunity, when creativity becomes an economy, when young people, especially in this country, to your point, Pritesh, can dream in high definition and not be on survival mode. I think in our industry, that for me is what caters to that. And I think it's not the title, it's not the award, obviously, it's not the headline. It's the legacy of people you uplift on the way there.
Nice.
And so for me, when I talk about what success has meant to me, the blueprint is not just the belief or the mindset that you have. It's also understanding that that's not the final thing. And I always tell people, you need to stay hungry and you need to stay foolish. Never stop, never settle. Just keep on going. And to that regard, when I think about having those people around you, it's not using them to get to where you need to be, is uplifting them with that shared vision, with that shared dream that you'd have when you're getting the right people around you. And as you uplift them, you're also getting uplifted. So you're lifting as you rise at the end of the day. And I strongly, strongly believe that that is what real success looks like. And to anyone who's going to be watching or listening to this podcast, like that consistent push, consistency, pushing, never stopping, never settling, just going at it. Yes, you have to work hard. You have to believe in the work that you're doing and be your biggest motivator, be your biggest ambassador. Yeah. Shout about your work and what you're doing. Eventually, it's going to pay off one way or another.
This is why I asked the editor to take what Pritesh said, Joel said, add the Rocky soundtrack, and play that on loop. Those are such powerful words.
That's really so cool. Yeah.
Second last question, and this is again to both of you. Collaboration is something I think I've seen bear fruits for creatives. And I think as we are trying to scale our strengths and scale our outputs as creatives and creative entities, we need to collaborate more. So from your different perspectives, how do we collaborate better? And how do we collaborate to make sure we are uplifting each other in the collaboration? How do we make sure our collaboration is the most effective thing we can do to get the best results for each of us?
I'm looking at you.
Okay. No, you know, one of the things is human nature is such that we like to find our little pocket of safety in everything we do. We will have our own little company, our own little agency, my circle of friends. You know, this is the kind of terminology we're used to. And within those kind of spaces, what happens is it's beautiful because you're able to have a sense of safety. But innovation doesn't come from safety. And if you really want to get to a point where you can innovate and do something really different, you have to embrace discomfort. And that discomfort means speaking to people different from you, spending time with different groups of people, getting out of that comfort zone that you have. And within that space of when you're able to meet different people, be at different spaces, there's so much learning. I mean, I come with my own little cultural background, and I think when I started off with Luries, like the first time I came to Nairobi, I had no idea what to expect. No idea. You know, we like, I chose the wrong hotel, nice hotel, but I chose the wrong hotel for an event, had these different chats, whatever. But in that process, that started a collaboration process with Kenya and people in Nairobi that's now led to a point where I'm so comfortable, I feel this is home itself. It's the same way I feel like, you know, sometimes they go like traveling to Nigeria can be scary, and going to Lagos it is. But I go there and I love Lagos and I love spending time there as well. So what I've seen work for me personally, and this is just my experience, which hopefully something is value in, is that collaboration starts from getting out of your comfort zone. Don't necessarily focus on the people that you know that are closest to you. And if you're sitting in a home environment and you're going, hey, I'm sitting in Nairobi, how can I meet different people out there? This is why you have the entire digital world at your fingertips. This is why you're able to follow different creators and chat to different people out there. Find smaller creators in different countries. Have a chat. You know, get onto X for that matter. Have a fight. Just like fight with somebody on a topic you're passionate about. But that starts that collaboration process and stuff for you to be able to open your mind to different thinking, different mindsets, and take a risk. And I mean, for creatives out there and young people, if you find somebody who's amazing as a creative and you go like, I want to get to know them, but they're sitting in a different country, you'd be surprised how by just like DMing them that they will speak to you and you'll have a discussion. So take the risk and focus on people who are different from you with different lived experiences. You get learning and you get the collaboration process from that.
That's deep. Sounds like he collaborates a lot. Joel?
Yeah, no, seriously. I think the one thing that I would say that would be a bit different from what Pritesha said is just remove the egos. Take your ego out of the table. Take the ego out of the equation. Because I think a lot of collaboration is normally hindered when people bring in their egos and their experiences. And I think now more than ever, people are willing to be more collaborative. The world is actually raring for something that's just different, you know. I like what in music, what people are doing right now. I mean, we are seeing our very own BN take his Luya. Luya is a
community.
Is a community in Kenya, and create a song that has so much symbolism. In all our enemies are suffering. All my enemies are suffering. It's a whole song, and it's now becoming a movement where the West Africans are picking up, the rappers are coming in, you know, and it's like the flavor is inspired by a very local cultural insight that is meaningful to him as a creative at the end of the day. But I think more importantly, you know, when you think about collaboration in that sense, it's saying, hey, this is who I am. Show me what you got. And you know, I don't know whether you know this, but you know, Red Bull did something very dope in South Africa with Amapiano and the orchestra.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I missed that.
The Red Bull Symphony.
Yeah,
oh
really
my
good.
gosh. Like, think about these two genres that are so far apart.
Yeah.
coming together. I like what Kenya is doing right now with Bhangra, which is Indian music.
Yeah.
And then you're taking Kenyan, music, Afro pop type of thing, and then mashing it up all together.
Yeah.
And it is so dope.
Yeah.
And then you look at now, even in film and TV, you look at what has been like the traditional, Kenya National Theatre style coming in, and then you're mixing it with stand-up comedy and film and TV, like proper film and TV, bringing it all together, like. I'm even getting goosebumps again. I mean, like, it's just crazy, like, where we are as a people. And I'm like, man, if you're out there, you're working, like, the reality is to collaborate. And collaboration is not just amongst people. It's within genres. It's even within brands.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still crashing the...
We're gonna go.
We're gonna crash there's an event happening next door, and we're gonna crash, and we're gonna see if we can collaborate. But
That's the point.
Yeah, that's the point altogether. It's an energy. Like, come on, like, that's why we are created. That's why we're on Earth. Yeah.
Amazing. I'll ask one last question, then I'll let you guys either ask a question, because probably have questions you wanna ask, or you have discussions you wanna have. My last question is basically quite simple. Where do you see the African creative space going to? And what inspires you? What gives you hope about where the African creative space is going to? From where you're seated, when you look forward, what is that thing that is really inspiring about what the African creative energy is churning out?
Do you want me to hop it, or do you want to go first? Go for it.
If you have you can go first. I think
you go first. This time.
Well, I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, man, African creativity is boundless. It's not limited by boundaries. Actually, I believe African creativity will play a role in unscrambling Africa. Have you seen what I've done there?
You know what you're talking about? So I'm a historian. Let me give you
Okay, go ahead.
1884, Berlin Conference.
Okay.
Right? The major European powers, they
Came
come
together.
So you have the English, the French, the Germans, the Italians. I don't know if the
All
Russians
the colonial
came
powers.
basically
Yeah.
to Berlin. And it was called the Scramble for Africa. So basically it's the three of us sitting down.
Yeah. That
With the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and
That.
being like,
Yes.
South Africa will go to the Dutch.
Yeah.
East Africa will go to the English.
British, yeah.
So I like what you said, Joe.
I think African creativity
Yeah.
is going to unscramble
Yeah.
Africa.
I love it. Should we change the title of the podcast?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just
maybe
saying.
that's a good one.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
just within our African context because of everything that's happening. And even the Luri Grand Prix that we won was just not a Kenyan thing. It was inspired by Kenyan.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh, we have got this really dope craft person sitting in South Africa, and we have this really dope idea. And it was just like the Joburg, Cape Town, Nairobi offices coming together and working within that. And we own the narrative, yes. And everything is driven from here, but collaboration still takes it home at the end of the day. But over and above that, like the role of African creativity, and I say it's going to be boundless. It's going to be boundless. I think it's going to also be very much progressive in creating new realities, not on the continent, but outside the continent. And I'm a sucker for world peace and fulfillment for humankind's potential. I'm that type of guy.
Okay.
I believe that's where African creativity is going. Because if we're going to stand up and say, yes, as South African creatives, we're standing up with Palestine. And we're going to create change from there. As Kenyans, yes, the Gen Z movement started, and our art, our music, our creative expression is going to cause governments to make changes, not just here, but also externally in other nations, in European nations, in Asian, the Asia Pacific nations, in the Americas. We'll stand together and say yes. And then calling each other out, like, that's really what I see African creativity doing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
Ritesh.
Well, I think of the whole world overall, and I go like, think of every continent on the planet, right? If you think of North America, everyone's got an idea in terms of difference between Americans and Canadians. And if you look at South America, like everyone knows the difference. You can pick up places and go like, yeah, that's a Brazilian culture, that's a Colombian culture. Same thing for Europe and its various countries. Same thing for Asia, and you can look at like India versus China, and everyone knows the difference. But again, it's in the words of every tourist who comes. Every tourist who goes like, hey, I went to Africa, instead of mentioning the specific country, there's been a time when we were just seen as a monolith. And what's happening right now is, thanks to African creativity, we're peeling the layers for the world. And as we're peeling the layers, they're getting to see all of the beautiful layers, you know, the beautiful Kenyan layers, to the Nigerian layers, to the Ghanaian layers, to the Egyptian layers for that matter, and all of this. And in that process, what creativity is actually doing is enabling the world to better, for the first time, understand and decode what the African continent is really about. And the world's loving it. So what our duty is, for those of us who have feet on the ground, who live here and love the continent, is to be able to say, how do we not stop this? We can't get too complacent. We should never get to a point where we go like, yeah, we've settled. Like you mentioned, like the music styles in like, let's say South Africa, where you can never like kind of like wrap your head around it and it's always evolving. We need to be constantly evolving, and we need to be constantly proudly finding new avenues to take things forward. And if we can find those new avenues to take our creativity to the world, I feel the world's ready now to listen, and the world will support us. And we will benefit as a continent from that. And it needs to be our stories. We can't let other nations come here. You know, there can't be a new
stories,
there can't be a new scramble for Africa. I feel there is a scramble for Africa. Now that we're decoding it a little bit, there's a new global scramble for Africa, for lots of different nations from outside the continent. Let's not let that happen. Let's make sure we own our stories, own the space, and be able to take this to the world. And I think you'll see us benefit from this.
Gentlemen, before I close it, is there anything that's itching that you want to say?
Or ask.
Yeah.
Where are the fans?
So for context, in case you're listening and you don't have the privilege of seeing this on video, we are seated under a tent.
And it's hot.
It's a hot day
the
in
hot
Nairobi.
seat.
Yeah. The fans will be here, but you have a lot of fans out there, Joe. They'll be with you shortly. Ritesh?
I mean, I just want to know, where's the after party? Was that an after party?
Oh, there's an after party, of course.
No, the podcast after party.
Oh, the podcast
after party, yeah.
I'll let Joel tell us, because he has the
No,
executive.
I was informed.
Daytime partying.
I was informed that the bar is going to be open at exactly 6 p.m.
Okay.
So you have about a 2-hour window
Of hydrating.
of getting your livers fresh.
The brief
But
has
Ritesh,
arrived.
do you drink?
Not anymore.
Yeah, well,
No.
What?
No. I stopped like 2 years. So therefore my liver will be the same throughout
The
the
last time I
entire...
drank with you, you were really handling it too well. Suspiciously too well.
No, you know what's my problem is? I was like, no one drinks as well as like, I think like people in Kenya. Except maybe the Ugandans. But therefore I go like, I was like waiting for my honorary like Kenyan drinker status.
Yeah.
I gave up. I gave up too
Oh,
early.
really? Oh my gosh, you gave up too early.
Yeah.
You stopped and you settled.
I stopped and I settled. This is why now people come to the Luries and they go, they have other stuff at the Luries, other legal stuff.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
legal
stuff
to
that is
Yeah.
not legal here.
That
but
is
it's
not legal.
But
Yet.
legal there, so therefore
Yeah.
I won't be pushing it
Yet.
here.
Yet.
You know, we should actually use the creatives to actually drive this new.
Yeah.
I think
It-
so.
Yeah. 'Cause
Imagine how much debt would come out of it if marijuana is legalized.
and the topic is how creativity can stimulate economies. So
And how.
I see where you're going with
Yeah.
this.
Which is why we're going to speak to the farmers about this.
Exactly my point.
Gentlemen, let me close it here before we get arrested.
Which is why now everyone knows. Why?
Wow. Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, Pritesh. Thank you so much.
Oh man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
This was dope.
Yeah, it
I
was
really
amazing.
enjoyed myself.
So did I.
Awesome.
We'll see you on the next episode of DMA Untamed. Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.